This is Vinyl Voices Radio. ESPN 97.5.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm John Goodman.
Dusty Sundahan.
Vinyl Voices is back on here on the ESPN. Justin Deas, I'm John Denman. He is Daniel Donato. And we have moved from the upstairs to now we're in the green room where all the relaxation stuff happens before the show.
That's where it should happen.
Yeah. Yeah, so
But you know, a lot of the times it doesn't. You know, everyone's running around.
just a few feet behind us through the old bank vault where we are now at Rockefeller's, Eggy's on stage. So that's what you're hearing as well.
If you can hear it, sounds good, right?
It's part of the show. It's going to be like, yeah, they put the little bumper music under.
Right.
There's going to be a natural.
It's great.
Natural bumper music. All right, so the next song we're going to talk about is High Country.
Yeah. This is a song that I personally felt like I had to kind of really listen to a few times because it is kind of that song about, you know, get out of the city a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like a city kid, so yeah. But, you know, I'm digging it.
High Country is kind of a love letter to wanting to get to just a higher place in your life, you know. And country music has this bandwidth to where you can kind of make up a story that is real in terms of values, but it might not have actually literally physically happened. And so I wanted to kind of create a character who was in a city and wanted to leave and get out of there, you know.
Yeah.
And that's where that one really started taking shape for me.
Yeah.
We just finished like 2 or 3 days worth of driving, and we got to an Airbnb from Tennessee all the way to Colorado, and we arrived in Colorado, and there is this sign pulling into the Airbnb. It was like High Country Lane. Something in it. And then Will Mustang took out his upright because it was like 12 degrees outside. You know, he didn't want to leave it in the van. He
Right.
schlepped it all up 3 sets of stairs, and he takes the bass out and he starts playing. Do-ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da-da, do-ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da. Yeah. I think I took my phone recorder.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then off to the races from there.
Right. That's so cool. Like, we've talked about 3 songs and they totally all came together in such different ways.
Developed differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be a witness as much as you're a producer.
Right.
Yeah. At least I do.
Yeah. In that moment, though, there was something that just got you. It was like, okay, I understand it was the riff, but it was still something like, I'm sure you're around musicians, you're a musician, people are riffing all the time.
All the time.
But there's something about that moment that was just like, I get this.
Yeah, that's the non-linear part of it all. And then there's this great running truth, it seems to be, about Neil Young, where it's like, if anything strikes him as fodder, he archives it right then and there. It could be at dinner, he'll tell somebody to stop and talk it and write it down, or hear something recorded. And I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Everyone's riffing at all the time. Birds could be riffing.
Right.
All the time, man.
Traffic.
Yeah.
Traffic.
Yeah.
Buc-ee's.
Yep. I probably should write things down because I'll come up with great ideas. And I'm like, man, or even song lyrics, right? And it's like that is the beginning of a good song.
Yes.
And then 3 days later, I'm like, what was that?
Tom T. Hall, in his book on songwriting, he said, relate, don't create. And that might be too much of a, it's cool to create weird scenes and, Tolkien-esque worlds that they've never happened but could have. But, just relating and writing things down that happen all the time, Sometimes I'm so inspired by watching I'm drinking an espresso in the morning before we leave for the next gig, and I'm watching a mom and a daughter walk in a park. And it's like, it's so moving. And I'll start hearing something, and then, I write it down.
Yeah.
Because it's all music.
Yeah. It's all frequencies, right?
Boy, oh boy. That sounds very abstract and woo-hoo, but I mean, and even to the people that are like, "All right, you hippies," it's like,
Yeah.
I would push back and be like, even intellectually, on a scientific level, it's measurably that. So you can't ignore that.
Right.
I mean, you can, but you're not really doing yourself much good. It's
Yeah.
all frequency, and it's all proof of change, and it's all proof of life,
Yeah.
and it's a living thing. So,
I love that. I love that your art comes from that place, and I love that that's a message of, what we're kind of talking about tonight, because we should all be aware of that in our daily lives. No, it doesn't matter if you're a musician or an accountant or a lawyer or whatever you do. If you can really just be in the moment,
Yeah.
it's such a hard thing sometimes.
Boy, is it hard.
I get in a lot of trouble for it. Living in the moment.
You just get in a lot of trouble, period. But
I like the relationship you guys have going on. This is good.
yeah,
This is a funny one. I like it. It's good.
we've known each other for a minute.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do get in trouble. The truth may start a fight. It historically has.
That's right.
That's the price
right.
of it.
That's right. Well, yeah, we were talking about that a little bit in our phone discussion. That sometimes it's not pretty, but
No.
yeah, but it is what it is. So,
That's right.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah. But I really just dig that idea of just being just present. Just having that sense that you have about you, that is something that you're sharing with your audience, and now we're sharing too. Is just take some time to really just not think about what's coming next. Just take your day and put some Daniel Donato on, and just really, soak into it. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate how generous you guys have been in supporting my music.
What's the longest song that you've written?
Like time-wise. There's like 2 or 3 songs that are going to be on the next album that are pretty long, in composition and lyrically.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings though is 3 movies.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or there's just some people that need more than like 3 to 4 minutes to really get their head right?
Yeah, that's
so
the
that's
thing.
why you can do like a 10, 15 minute song, and that's for those people.
It's also why we put out every show we do on the road online. Every single show within the week. Lately it's been within 48 hours. Every show is online in really high frequency quality audio for people to go listen to and go back to or discover,
Right.
because I'm a subscriber to the hypothesis that people's attention spans are not short, but their consideration span is very short.
Right.
And rightfully so. Because
Right.
everybody in every corporation, every entity, every brand, anyone with anything is trying to get your attention, your money,
Right.
or your time,
Right.
or your data.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to take something from you now.
Right.
And, maybe give some things in return, but everybody's asking. at
Right.
least. And so our consideration span is tremendously short, I think. But our attention span is remarkably long. Remarkably, people listen to 4-hour podcasts every day. All
Right.
day,
That's true.
that's a lot of time. People come to our shows for 3 hours, and then they get mad if we don't do an encore. I think if you're worth considering to a certain person, then they will attend to you.
Sure.
So we just try to set up as many opportunities for people to consider us cosmically as they can.
Nice.
It's hard.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. It's that's the thing, that it's always looked at like, oh man, they're living the dream.
You are. Think about what I've noticed about a reality is there's this yin and yang. We know what that is, right? There's this old principle called as above, so below.
Right.
Right. It's like an iceberg. There's part of it on top that you see, and there's a lot of it underneath that you don't see.
Right.
Right. Everything has a light and a dark to it. So that means it's real.
Yeah.
If there's a shadow to what it is that you're observing, that makes it a real thing. And dreams have that, and the lines between dreams and reality are very, very finely nuanced.
Right.
So if you are living the dream, good things and quote unquote bad things are happening.
Right.
You know, and
Right.
that's what's great about, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being able to acknowledge that is very mature.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But again, you know, you're just a student of music, the world, you know, what you're doing.
You just did that on time, Jesse. Come on, that was music. That was great.
You know, this is a musical show.
Timing is everything.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's great.
Well, as much fun as it's been, we do have to wrap it up because we're only allowed so much time. But Daniel Donato, thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
It's been a whole lot of fun hanging out with you.
And thank you, Jesse.
Daniel.
Yeah.
And like you said, you can find him online. Go watch any of his shows.
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah.
show tonight that we're watching, it will be posted by the time this airs.
Oh, for sure. And probably a couple others now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
check them out.
We're lucky. Yeah.
Find them online.
Thank you.
Daniel Donato and the Cosmic Cowboys. Cosmic Country.
Hey, both.
Oh man, I've only like barely made it through one
Yeah,
beer,
you need
and I'm
both.
already doing it.
You need both, man.
You should. At least once a show, I get the
What's-
name of my own show wrong.
Oh yeah.
And what's a country without a cowboy?
It's not a country.
Now that's what we end on right there. That's it.
All right, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this week's show. You can listen to any of the old ones. Find us all over the internets, dark webs, and the rest of the funky places online. And Justin Dejas, John Dittman, Jason Esparza, and DJ Muskrat, who was not here tonight, but he's the one that made it sound good. Appreciate you, everybody listening. Talk to everyone next week.
This is Vinyl Voices, brought to you by Adley Law Firm, Houston's personal injury attorneys for 30 years.